Hello and welcome to Total Retro TV, where we like to discuss all things retro. Today we're going to be talking about Pogs, or milk caps as some people call them. Now, chances are, if you were alive in the 90s, you probably already know what these things are, but for the uninitiated, please allow me to explain. Pogs were both a game as well as a collectible for a very brief period of time. Pretty much any licensed property you can imagine was printed on these little cardboard discs, as well as a ton of, well, nonsense. They truly do encapsulate the popular culture of the time. Alright, so how did these things come about anyway? Well, legend has it that the origin of Pogs was a game kids in Hawaii played with milk cap covers back in the 30s. The invention of the first Nintendo console was a long ways off. Pog is also the name of a popular juice sold in Hawaii consisting of passion fruit, orange, and guava, hence Pog. After the milk cap game saw a resurgence in popularity in the 90s, the Haleakala Dairy Company printed some caps with the Pog name on them as promotional items, essentially appropriating the game under the Pog banner despite having never sold Pog juice with cardboard caps prior to then. Then came entrepreneur and founder of Armor All, Alan Rapinski, who bought the Pog trademark from Haleakala. Rapinski created the World Pog Federation and made merchandising deals with pretty much everybody, and Pogs were soon all over the mainland. Imitators and lawsuits soon followed. You see, some people thought that Pog was a generic term for all milk caps, and were marketing their own caps as Pogs. The World Pog Federation went out of their way to discredit other producers of caps, and eventually won a lawsuit for sole ownership of the name Pog, referring to milk caps. Haleakala licensed the Pog brand to Rapinski, retaining only a 14% share. This means that not only did they lose out on the vast majority of the profit from the World Pog Federation's sales, but they also had no control over the branding. Outside of Hawaii, there was almost zero association between the Pog juice and the Pog game. This is what I believe kids refer to as epic fail. The World Pog Federation created their own mascot called Pogman. He's on pretty much anything Pog related. Looks kind of familiar. Anyway, Haleakala created their own mascot for Pog juice called the Poglodite. Alright, so what's this whole Pogs thing about anyway? Well, there are several variations, but the basic game is this. A stack of Pogs is laid face down, and two people take turns hitting the stack with a slammer, also sometimes called a kini, in an attempt to flip the Pogs over. If you're playing for keeps, then you keep the overturned Pogs and restack the others for the next player. Whoever has the most Pogs at the end is the winner. There were Pog competitions. There were books and magazines dedicated to the hobby. There was a bizarre straight-to-video VHS movie. Everybody was making Pogs. You'd find them in cereals, comics, hell, even the Pope had his own Pogs. It was so popular in some places that schools had to ban them, and mirroring the comic world at the time, there were all sorts of specialty Pogs and slammers. Some of the slammers were just ridiculous. Even Todd McFarlane decided to get in on the action with Spawn Pogs called Spogs, and dubbed the hottest collectible of 1993 by somebody. They even sold a device to make your own Pogs with. Interestingly enough, the U.S. Armed Forces have also used milk caps. These are printed as a form of currency for military personnel deployed in overseas combat zones, as the weight is significantly less than the air freight cost of using real coins. Pogs have recently made the transition to the digital age, though, with the app Super Slam. All the fun of Pogs on your cell phone. So what became of this industry that was once estimated to be worth over $500 million? Well, the same thing that happened to the comics industry, really. Oversaturation. The product was so cheap and easy to make, not just for official Pogs, but for the would-be imitators as well. And the school bannings didn't help either. Behold, the death of Superman in Pog form. The zenith of cultural implosion. This simple relic represents the decline and deterioration of two separate hobby markets of the 90s. A cardboard omen of doom, and a reminder of what happens when the market becomes overcrowded.